What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with another daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy, and today we're going into r/DecidingToBeBetter for some stories about growth during the hardest of times. So, let's get to it. Our first post is from user Regina Falange21. Officially been laid off for 7 weeks now, making bigger moves than I thought possible. Hope this is okay to post here. Really just wanted to share my progress, and after finding this sub the other day, I thought it would be a good place to do so. I got laid off due to COVID-19 7 weeks ago, and this situation has allowed me to really commit to making the changes I've needed to make for a while. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 14, and after a decade of that terrible habit, I finally quit and haven't had a cigarette since February 9th. I still use my Juul, but quitting cigarettes is probably the best decision I've ever made, and that started my journey to be better. This part is hard for me to admit, but I need to be honest. I had a bad drinking habit. I drank almost every night from fall of 2017 to the end of 2019. Sometimes it got as bad as 2 bottles of wine a night by myself. As a 100-pound female, my liver is probably trashed. Sometimes with friends, but mostly alone. It helped with my anxiety at first, especially in social settings, and then over time, just became a habit out of boredom/routine. I started cutting back a lot at the beginning of 2020, and as of tomorrow, I will have gone 2 full weeks without a drop of alcohol. It's very uncomfortable after using it as a crutch for so long, but I'm really proud of myself for this change, as it's definitely been the hardest. I've been saving way more money and putting it into a decent percentage interest savings account. It's insane how much you spend without batting an eye when you're going out drinking, shopping, and buying booze and cigarettes every day. And I finally paid off my credit card in full after carrying a $1,000+ balance on it for the last 3 years. Last but not least, I'm working out. The last 3 days in a row, I've run a mile, and I'm about to get up and get ready for day 4. I hate exercising, always have, but I already feel a difference physically and mentally. These changes were a long time coming for me, and I didn't do it alone. I have a lot of support from my partner, and that has helped hold me accountable and motivated me. Not smoking or drinking and running a bit every day might not seem like a big deal to some, but I feel normal for the first time in too long, and I don't ever want to go back to how I was living before. Thank you for allowing me to share some of my progress. I love reading the posts on here, and maybe at least one person will enjoy reading mine. Stay safe, everyone. Well, OP, I'll tell you this much, I definitely enjoyed reading it. But in all seriousness, I do love hearing stories like this of people that are taking what has been a terrible experience for so many of us right now. Being quarantined, losing a job, having all this upheaval in our lives, and using it as an opportunity to get better. I mean, yeah, not everyone has that ability to do so. But when you have that chance, when you are in a position to use a circumstance like this for your betterment, you take it. Or at the very least, you should. Were I in your position, I'd hate to get a new job and then, first day starting, once everyone's back in the office, be like, oh, so what'd you do during quarantine? I just sat around, played video games, just enjoyed my time off. First off, you say that to an employer, they're going to bounce you right out of the office without a further question. And secondly, what a waste. I'd much rather go in and be like, I lost weight, I gained muscle, I developed new skills in things like Photoshop and Premiere and coding and all this other stuff. I spent time bettering myself. That's what this is a chance to do. And you've done that, not only in picking up newer healthy habits, but in dropping bad ones as well. Your story really is an example that it is possible to do positive things and change your life for the better, even when circumstances around you really suck. So thank you so much for sharing the post, and wherever you're at, I really do wish you the best. Our next story is from user Furry Surrender. But first, if you're enjoying the video, go ahead and drop a comment so that I can start a conversation with you. I absolutely love hearing from you guys whenever you do comment, and it really makes my day to respond to them. Also, feel free to like and subscribe so you can get more of your daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy. I found my confidence in a moment of emergency. I went to a park with my boyfriend. There were so many people there despite the world being at a standstill. Guess we all had the same idea. As we're walking around, a group of young girls on bicycles shout to each other, "Watch out!" as they were coming up behind an older man jogging with dumbbells in his hands. One of the girls, I guess, didn't know what to do or couldn't stop and ran into him from behind, and they all toppled over. It happened right in front of us. The man stayed down as the young girl started to shyly apologize and freak out. She didn't know what to do as this man laid there disoriented. I remember thinking, crap, as I knew I had to do something even though I had no idea what to do. I couldn't just walk away as this young girl was freaking out and not knowing what to do either, naturally. I walked over, got the man to sit up, and calmly talked to him as others started to circle him. I had my boyfriend call for an ambulance because part of his hand and forehead were swollen like an egg and bleeding. I think he hit himself on the dumbbells while falling, but also it was a nasty crash to begin with. It wasn't a soft one. When asked for our location, we didn't know because it was a huge park. I looked at the stores near us and told them what they were, then after a minute or two, waited by the road to flag down the ambulance. As they were taking care of the man, I went to talk with the young girl. She was so freaked out and in tears still. I tried to tell her that it's not her fault and accidents happen. I told her it was better to feel this kind of empathy than nothing at all over a situation like this. That it's ultimately good to feel this way, but it's a hard emotion to handle and deal with. If there wasn't a child involved, I don't know if I would have taken the leadership role in this emergency situation. I feel like I would have waited for someone else to step in and do something, but maybe not. These two strangers' scary moment has been oddly reassuring to my overall self-esteem and confidence in myself. Knowing I can handle dire situations even if I have no idea what to do. I thought I'd find my confidence again elsewhere. Just goes to show how odd life can really be sometimes. With that many people in the park, I feel like statistically, something was bound to go wrong. I so happened to be there at that very moment. This moment has overall made me realize again how I'll never know what will come my way, or if I'll be on the receiving end next time. But I can handle it either way. No matter what, I'll handle it. You know, OP, it's really kind of amazing in life how sometimes the weirdest situations that we're thrust into are what help really define us as a person, as a human being, and help us really to grow the most. I actually don't know if I've shared this story on the channel, and I won't go into big detail on it just because it is kind of a longer one. But I mentioned in yesterday's video about how I'm an Eagle Scout and how I went through the whole Boy Scouts program. Tied into my time with the Boy Scouts was one particular incident where, through a series of events, I ended up having to save the lives of 2 people. And as a result, I got like this nationally recognized award, and I mean, it was a really cool thing, but it was one of those, you know, don't aspire to it, but right place, right time type deals. Leading up to that moment, I'd never thought that something like that was a possibility. I thought my life would just be kind of, you know, smooth. I mean, I was a teenager at the time. But that moment kind of defined who I was, kind of made me step up to the plate, and I realized I was capable of so much more than I was giving myself credit for. Now, to be fair, this was at an extreme risk to myself as well, because I very easily could have died also. And I'm fairly convinced there was a degree of divine intervention involved in this whole thing, because, yeah, adrenaline alone would not have carried me through that day. And maybe one day I'll tell the story in full. But yeah, anywho, my point being, life has a way of putting you into situations where you will rise to the occasion when you need to. And as long as you do that, you're going to be in good shape. It's those moments that help define us and help us learn who we really, truly are at heart. So, OP, thank you so much for sharing the post, for sharing this bit of your story, and for just talking about how it's helped you grow. Wherever you're at, I truly do wish you the best. There's more Deciding to Be Better stories here in the playlist link on your left, or if you want to see what YouTube thinks is best for you, click the button here on the right. Now you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside if you're supposed to. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.